We sure didn't vote for this mess, what we call Dems' dirty Obamacare bill. This is a disaster, and it was sold under false pretenses, and we need to do better for our constituents who need access to affordable health care.
The U.S. Senate has rejected both Republican and Democratic plans to tackle a looming healthcare crisis just weeks before subsidies expire. Millions of Americans now face steep premium hikes starting January 1st when enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies are set to lapse. With Congress preparing to leave for its holiday recess next week, lawmakers may not act in time to prevent the sharp cost increases. Back-to-back votes in the Senate saw each party block the other's bill, leaving negotiations stalled and uncertainty rising nationwide. The House may attempt a last-minute proposal, but no text has been released, and Senate resistance could easily derail the effort. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer blamed Republicans for the breakdown, saying the healthcare crisis now rests entirely on their shoulders. Republican leader John Thune dismissed the Democratic plan as political messaging and insisted his party is ready for real negotiations. The Republican bill offered one-time payments of up to $1,500 for individuals under 700% of the federal poverty level in 2025. Its restrictions barring funds for abortion or gender transition care and requiring citizenship verification drew opposition from Democrats. The Democratic proposal sought a 3-year extension of the COVID-era ACA subsidies to prevent premiums from more than doubling. The Senate, split 53-47 in favor of Republicans, required 60 votes to advance either plan, leaving both short of the threshold. 4 Republicans crossed party lines to support the Democratic plan, while no Democrats backed the Republican alternative. President Donald Trump has largely sat out the healthcare brawl, though he ultimately embraced the Cassidy-Crapo approach.
Mr. President, in Texas, my constituents who are on the Affordable Care Act exchanges, otherwise known as Obamacare, are experiencing an 18% increase in their insurance premiums. Now, if you look at employer-provided coverage, which covers many, many more Americans, those increases in costs are going up roughly in the 5 to 6% range. So you might wonder why the huge disparity between Obamacare and the rest of health care. Of course, our healthcare system is pretty fragmented. We have people who have employer-provided coverage, seniors who have Medicare, low-income individuals who qualify for Medicaid, veterans who qualify for the VA system or TRICARE. But for the group of people who believed what President Obama said when he sold Obamacare about 15 years ago now, they've been deceived. I still remember like it was yesterday, the president said, if you like your policy, you can keep your policy. That was a lie. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Well, that was not true either. And then he said the average premiums would go down about $2,500 for people on these Affordable Care Act exchanges. Well, that wasn't true either. Years ago, I was Attorney General of the state of Texas. We had a consumer protection division, and where we would sue people who would consciously defraud consumers. And if this isn't one of the biggest consumer frauds perpetrated in our lifetime, maybe in history, I don't know what is. No Republican voted for Obamacare. We didn't think that was the best solution to providing access to health care. Only Democrats voted for it. And now they've created this incredible mess, this unworkable unsustainable, unaffordable health care system within the rest of our health care system, and they look to us, Republicans, the people who did not create this problem, as, okay, now how are you going to fix it? They don't have any better ideas. As a matter of fact, what they want is more of the same. They want zero reforms. They want more waste, fraud, and abuse. They want more money to go to insurance companies. They want 100% of the tax dollars that pay for the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare exchanges. They want it to continue going to insurance companies. President Trump has said, let's get the money to the consumer so they can choose what they want. I think that's a better idea. Plus, insurance companies skim about 20% off of those taxpayer-provided subsidies for their administrative costs and profit. And you know what? Insurance companies are among the most profitable companies in America, certainly since Obamacare started. And then finally, they want to break what has been roughly a, 50-year consensus on whether tax dollars should be used to pay for abortions. We know abortions and that issue divides much of America. But one area that we have agreed on, this consensus back named after Henry Hyde, a famous legislator, House member from Illinois, is something called the Hyde Amendment that says no tax dollars can go for abortions. And Democrats want to throw that out the window. Well, rather than just point the finger at our Democratic colleagues, we actually have come up with a better idea. And I'm grateful to our colleague, Senator Crapo, chairman of the Finance Committee, and Senator Cassidy, a medical doctor who's head of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, for coming up with an alternative proposal, which is predicted to bring premium prices down about 11%. Now, that's real money that people can use to spend on other things. Again, 18% increase each year after year after year. This is a train wreck for people on these affordable care policies. And as I said, the proposal by Senator Crapo and Senator Cassidy aligns with what President Trump has said, is let's get the money to the people. Wouldn't you rather have the money to buy the kind of coverage that you want and need? We are not all the same. We have people of different ages, different health care needs. Some young and healthy people may figure they don't need as comprehensive a coverage as older folks do. But our Democratic colleagues believe that we're all cut out of the same cloth and we are all the same when it comes to access need for health care, and that's just not true. This legislation that's been proposed, not by the Democrats who want more of the same broken system, the alternative that Senator Crapo and Senator Cassidy have proposed, we voted on it, and our Democratic colleagues did not support it at all. We sure didn't vote for this mess, what we call Dems' dirty Obamacare bill. This is a disaster, and it was sold under false pretenses, and we need to do better for our constituents who need access to affordable health care.